Devil's advocates whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood, blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall, one wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint? The jury's out, but the verdict's faint. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to know why I'm here today? It's not because I want to give you a pep talk or because I want to make you feel good about yourselves. No, I'm here to tell you the truth.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Robin. I can't hear DA though.
No, okay.
How about now?
Okay.
Oh, look at there you
Oh
are.
my gosh. Fail. You guys go the hell behind screen. Let me try this again. All right. I better mute them because they're about to say something embarrassing. I'm going to mute them for just a minute. How about we start that whole intro shit over again? I'm so sorry about that. So first of all, I was trying to tell you, and I realized there's a mute on my microphone itself. So I'm going to start trying to do a regular thing of 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this time. We almost didn't start this tonight because I have a video popping off on the Idaho 4 case that is doing really well. I mean, really well. And some of the advice I got was like, don't touch anything. If that video is doing well, shut the hell up and stay off your live. However, we really want to make a consistent thing of being here live because we're trying to work on getting our live show going. I want to say hi to some people first before I bring Robin and Joe up. This kind of show, by the way, is going to be a kind of an open format. I'm going to have drop-in guests, by the way, before I get too far. I'm going to post the link to this particular StreamYard backstage. So there's a link that should pop up. I'm not looking, I'm going back to the very beginning of the chat, so I have to get down there, but hopefully a link just popped up for you that if you want to join the show, like it looks like we've got maybe some other YouTubers that are in here watching right now. So if you want to join the show and talk to me live on the air, let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to take a risk because I have full ultimate power. I can shut people's microphone off. So let's first say some highs to some people and then I'll bring up our guests. And if you want to queue up in the backstage area, if you have a microphone, if you have a camera, you don't have to go on camera. You could just go microphone and use that. We'll do that. But let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to do tonight after we say some highs. Teresa, I think Teresa was the very first person in here tonight. Thank you, Teresa, for being super, super early. I think you're like 20 minutes early. So thanks, Teresa, for coming in. Oh yeah, I'm going to actually show some of these things on here. So there's Teresa. Penny was second in the room. Penny's coming in from Idaho. So very cool. Penny's been a long time. She's a mod. She's a supporter. We call them the minions at the Devil's Den, which is kind of a thing that we're trying to brand for our community in the backstage. So I wanted to say hi to Penny. Essie is, of course, a regular with Robin. Robin's a moderator. She's backstage ready to talk here in a moment. Who else do we have? Let's just go through some of these hellos. And by the way, I love it when people tell me where they're from. So if you happen to say that you're here, also let me know where you're at. By the way, Essie says hi to Joe from State of the Deep, and Joe is backstage ready to talk. So I can't wait to get Joe up here and Robin and have a good conversation. Amanda B. Amanda has done a lot of graphics work for us. Tonight you're going to see some slides. You'll see the work from Amanda. Amanda just won, by the way, a contest I had for picking a background if I ever do green screens. So Amanda won that contest as well because she's like she and AI have some kind of marriage magic together and make some amazing artwork. And so she's doing a lot of our branding. So thank you, Amanda, for being in here and supporting the show. I was gonna say I kind of stole her, I think, in a way, because like she spends a lot of time on my show when she used to be on another show, but shh. Let's keep that shit on the down low. Molly Bledsoe says, hi, DA. Welcome. Thank you for coming into the show. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm going to try to make this a more regular thing so you guys can count on me. And hopefully there's some of you that I can count on you to be here on a regular basis as well. So I'm very excited about that. Cheryl Fitzgerald coming in from Florida. You don't even have to tell me. I know where you're at. So thanks for coming in. Good evening to the den from Cheryl. Robin, of course, is backstage and saying hi to a lot of people. Amanda B, we covered already a little bit. Let's see who else is in here. This was why I was like, I'm going to be embarrassed if I don't know this channel. It's Truth and Justice, True Crime with Anna D. I think that's a YouTuber that I followed, but I don't see their videos pop up on the thing. So if that's the case, I really apologize, but I kind of recognize the name. I want to say I saw a video of yours, I think, and followed your channel. So thank you for dropping in. And if you want to come on to the microphone with us, go ahead and grab that link that I posted and get yourself queued up backstage. And then I will let you know when you can join us on air. And so again, that song, by the way, that we were listening, that was too badass for words, was done with AI assistance, I believe, by Cat Farm, another minion of ours on our show. By the way, I don't know if you know this before, but I leveled the music a little bit. So at the very end of the song, there's this weird intro that Birdie Bombshell made for me with AI and tools and shit like that and whatever. And it's really, really cool. But I had the volume disparity really bad. So my song would get done and then this super loud audio would come up. I leveled that a little bit. So hopefully I didn't blow your eardrums out with that second part. I realized I kept meaning to fix it, but I don't have an audio person. I'm my own audio person. So anyways, I'm going to work through the hellos and then we'll bring up our guests and start talking mostly Idaho 4, because again, I I have what I consider to be pretty breaking shit in the Idaho 4. And I know you're like, this case is over, Devil's Advocates. Why the fuck are you still talking about it? Well, we're going to talk about why I'm still talking about it in a minute. Shelby Syed, hope I pronounced that right. Hi, welcome to the show. I've seen your name in here before. Kim Karash. Kim Karash. Hi, DA. What are you doing? What do you got tonight? What do I got tonight? I got a bombshell I think it's a bombshell. We'll ask Joe and Robin whether they think it's a bombshell. I think it's a bombshell because I had a theory about Idaho 4, and I think that fucking theory looks a lot better than it has ever looked tonight. So Molly Bledsoe, welcome to coming in and saying hi to Essie. Jay Gamble, another minion of ours and a moderator of this area. She's been trying to hype out the channel as well. So thank you so much for that. I'm not even sure how hypes exactly work. Don't break any of course, any community guidelines for YouTube can get us in trouble, but hyping sounds like a good thing. Callie Conch, not Conch, as I used to say. I think you said, Robin corrected me on that. Nothing better than a Saturday evening with DA and the Den. Hiya to all. Don't forget to set your clocks back an hour tonight. That's right. Daylight savings time is upon us. So thanks for the reminder on that. Callie, welcome to the show. And then let's see, are we getting to the bottom of this? No, we got Susan B. Is it Susan B? Yeah, 621. Hi, DA. Hi. I love it when people are so enthusiastic with saying hi. Hi, DA. Like, hi. Love it when you guys say hi. I love it when you also tell me where you're from so I can kind of get used to that as well. Let's see. Kim, we already did Kim, and Kim did. She was just saying hi to Robin. So we're working through here. Are we caught up with everybody on the live? No, we've got, I think we got Molly Bledsoe. Now we got, Avery Schneider, yay. I don't know who yay was about. Hopefully it's about the live. We'll get into some stuff here in a little bit. Penny, I already said hi to. It's getting wild. You and Birdie. I heard Birdie had some crazy shit last night. I think Joe might have caught some of that. So Joe can talk about Birdie's show a little bit when we get into the Idaho 4. Almost getting caught up. Hey, the great thing is, in a way, this is a great thing. It's taken me a freaking while to get through the hellos and introduction, and that's probably a good sign. Molly Bledsoe's from Kentucky. Thanks for letting me know. I love the locations. And then we've got Tierra Boshaw. Did I pronounce that right? From Seattle. Thank you for saying hi from Seattle. I used to work in downtown Seattle. 5 years or 6 years or so I spent working in downtown Seattle. I lived in Everett, Washington. Made that commute every single day into Seattle. Love that area. So good to see you from Seattle. A lot of things that I miss from the Seattle area. But there's things I don't miss, like people dropping their pants and taking a shit on the sidewalk. I don't miss that part of Seattle. That was actually Everett, but anyways, big cities got some disadvantages as well. And Truth and Justice True Crime says they're from South Jersey. No need to be sorry, but thank you for sharing your location. Teresa's from Wisconsin. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Indiana. We got Indiana from Mama J, right? Indiana here. Nice. Thank you for saying hi and giving your location. Love that. Kim Karash. Is that, I'll keep on for saying the Northern Minnesota. Is that I should know my abbreviations. Minnesota, right? Very cool. I've been to Minnesota. I've been to the land of 1,000 lakes, I think is what they call Minnesota. So we got Kay from Indiana as well. Just kind of working through the hellos. And then I swear my guests will be like, are you going to ever let me up on, shut your mouth, DA. Let me up on stage. But we'll get through the hellos here. Oh yeah. So Truth, you do have a YouTube channel and your channel's very new. Well, if you want to step up here, get yourself backstage. We'll bring you up if you want to. If you don't want to, that's okay. But we can maybe talk a little bit about your channel as well tonight. Mama J's, let's see. She's usually just a lurker, but I really enjoy listening to Lee's fast talk. Am I talking fast right now? I feel like I'm going a little slow. I need to speed that shit up. You know how many times people tell me I need to drink less coffee, DA? Drink less coffee. And other people are like, no, keep talking a million miles an hour because you're the only guy that I don't have to put on 2 times speed to listen to because you're already going at 2 times speed. And I had somebody tell me that they put me at 1.5 times speed on top of that. I did purposely speed up my talk right there just to see if you can keep up. All right, we're almost caught up. Avery Snyder, it's just the beginning. Is that probably talking about the Idaho 4 case? Probably talking about the Idaho 4 case. Let's see. We got. Are we almost caught up? Oh, this is a new name in the chat here. Karen Folquest. Idaho 4 is a case that needs to never leave the conversation. It's very, very difficult. I kind of agree with you, but here's the thing. When Kohberger pled guilty, it made it really hard to just constantly get kicked in the teeth by people saying, why the fuck are you still talking about it? This case is over. The guy pled guilty. Can you not accept the facts? He pled guilty. Why can't you let it go? He pled guilty. I do get tired of hearing that. The problem is that when they keep releasing documents like today or yesterday or whatever, and I have to be like, I'm going to lose my shit because you just admitted to another fucking lie. How many lies do we have to have in this case? Why do people just accept bullshit? Anyways, so there's a part of me, if it wasn't obvious, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I get it. Why am I still talking about it? But there's a part of me that's like, because you keep lying about shit. Molly loves the show. Thank you so much. Appreciate the support on that. Donna says hello to the chat. DA in the chat. Almost catching up. I love that I'm having a hard time. Kim says, it's Grandma Grizz, tiggle saggy bitties. Thank you so much for that. You know what? That's perfect. It's amazing. Thank you so much. That is an inside joke from Birdie's show with the tiggle bitties always coming out somewhere with somebody with something on there. So, somebody says here, what is that? Susan B says, DA, actually like your satire a lot. Thank you so much. I do try to add some humor into very, very serious topics. I'm never going to get through the hellos. I hope Robin and Joe sitting backstage. You know what? I'm going to bring them up. No, I'm going to make them wait a moment. I was going to bring them up, but then they're going to talk over my hellos. Let me just see if I can get through this real quick. Hey, DA from Asherville. That's from Marianne 828. Hello, DA from Asheville, North Carolina. By the way, every time I see Carolina, I think of South Carolina and Ali Benevento. I know she's still out there hanging big. I see her in TikTok land. We're kind of tied on subscribers, but she's going to pass me by far. I'll guarantee you. All right. Let's see. I am. That's another name in here. Said hi to Robin. Christina. That's a new name that I don't think I said hi to so far. Let's just get through this. Dana. Donna L. Hi from Canada. Hello, eh? What is with the A thing in Canada? Well, I went to Canada when I was in high school, and it was always the running joke. It'd be like, hey, take off, eh? I used to listen to Bob and Doug McKenzie from Canada. I hope that's not an insult. That was awesome. Up from the Great White North. That's a throwback right there, if you know Bob and Doug McKenzie. All right, so what else do we got? Marianne, let's see, Susan B. Okay, we got most of these. Oh, here's somebody new. Reggie Lau, Lau from Missouri. Welcome from Missouri. And thank you for checking in with us. Southern Illinois for Dana C. or Danny. Is that Danny C.? All right. We have got to get on the microphone here. Mississippi from Cynthia. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the Mississippi shout out. We got Tennessee. I think I already probably got that one. What else do we have? Are we caught up? Uma from Oregon. I am in Oregon. You probably know that. I am in Oregon myself. I moved from Washington State to Oregon. And so now I'm having exciting times in Oregon. I love the Pacific Northwest in general. You can't go wrong with the mountains and the ocean nearby. Everything about this whole coastline is pretty awesome. I know if you're from Cali, you're like, no, you're missing out if you're not from Cali. But this Pacific Northwest area, I'm in love with the area. Now, granted, I'm a little biased. I've lived here most of my time. Christina's from Indiana. I love the fast talking, Mama J says. Fantastic, because I don't slow the hell down. DA, you're looking awesome. Thank you so much for that. I have a lot of self-confidence issues, so it's nice for somebody to say something nice about me, although I'm trying to get a little better about the self-confidence issues. But it helped when I dropped 100 pounds this last year. That was a huge increase in my personal growth, if you will, and feeling better about myself. God forbid if I ever gain a bunch of weight back, I'm not going to be on camera. I'll be like, I can't go on camera. I feel like a schmuck. Not that there's anything wrong with being heavy. There's not, but I just feel so self-conscious about myself. It's a personal issue. All right, we're almost caught up, and we've letting you into, like, I have a therapist now, so I shouldn't have to use you as my therapist. We'll get to the show in just a minute. I think at some point I'm going to have to stop, right? Oh, so here we said, I would love to come up, but my phone is going to die, but I will next time. Really wish I could. Perfect. Good. You got a standing invite. Let me know next time. I'll try to always post that in there. I'll do it one more time in a moment, posting the link in case anybody wants to give it a shot. There's a Canada shout out again from Karen Folquez. I think I maybe pronounced that right. Here's from Austin, Texas, from is it Shayless? I need my glasses on. I do have glasses, and I'm on a laptop screen, which is super, super small. So anyways, so are we caught up? I think we're really close. I'm really close to being caught up. I'm going to have to shut up at some point. Orange County, California. Look at that. J. Ray from Orange County, California. I agree with you that this is the PNC. Oh yeah, Pacific Northwest, which is the best. Okay, and we did have Birdie join back as well. Birdie, I'm taking a page out of your fucking book, sir, and I'm saying hi to everybody, and it's taken me 25 minutes to get through the hellos, which feels fantastic. So I can see why you do that. That's super cool. AR just finished your live. Is AR in the house? Yeah, AR at Convict's Thoughts. We're in the house. Welcome, dude. Nice to see you. By the way, let me put one more time on the screen because AR, you're invited to come up as well. AR Hayes in the house for those who watched us together. AR, you've got an invite link right there if you want to get backstage and come up on the screen. I am done. I'm caught up with everybody. Let's get everybody on screen. Let's talk about shit tonight. There's only 3 of us right now, but as I said, Birdie is backstage as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add him to the stage. Oh, like I added him and he's not even at his screen. When he comes back, he better have his pants on. Anyways, Joe and Robin. Let's start with Robin because Robin's a major part of the show. Well, not that Joe isn't a major part of the show. Holy shit, Joe is a major part of the show. That was insulting sounding. Robin, let's start with you, however, because we kind of do a lot of business together. Robin helps advise me. She's officially listed as a co-producer of The Devil's Advocates, which was a one-man show, but now it's a one-man, one-woman show, plus advisors, plus minions, plus Joe from State of the Deep. Robin, how are you doing tonight? Are you muted, Robin? Do I have? Oh, no, I don't. No, I do. Hold on. Robin, are you muted?
I don't know. Am I?
No, you are not muted. God damn it. You better say something good.
I'm excited about the show tonight. That's for dang sure.
I am excited as well. I mean, holy crap. We had a good day. We had a good day. I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning in that freaking video. 5 in the morning. I saw the documents. I saw like late at the night, I saw people posting pictures of the knife sheath and I was losing my mind. I'm like, why are you posting pictures of the knife sheath and not telling me where the hell that document came from? Where's the fucking source document? I was losing my mind. I'm like, is that the knife sheath or is that a replica knife sheath? It can't be the knife sheath. Why is it not covered in blood? I was starting to lose my mind. We did find the document. And when I saw the document was 2,000 something pages and I started to read through it, I went, holy shit, there it is. There's the thing I've been waiting for. So I did a video that's popping off today about the planted evidence and why I believe Ann Taylor believes that they planted the evidence on Brian Koberger to put him at the scene because they couldn't put him at the scene. So we're going to get to that in just a minute. AR Hayes has joined us backstage. Joe, let's talk about you next. Before you speak, you just hold your pie hole for a moment. Joe, by the way, is a special individual who I met at Aurora, Colorado at CrimeCon. He runs a Substack page called State of the Deep. He believes in the deep state kind of thing. He and I have got a show that we've been working on and building really good shit called Deep Devils. And we typically drop things on Sunday. We might still drop something tomorrow if Joe and I can get that recording. There's Birdie with his glorious face walking into the screen and putting on headset so he didn't even hear that part. Joe, how are you doing tonight? Man, he's popping a drink. Oh shit, Birdie's gonna be off the hook. Joe, you're drinking too. Tell us how things are going, Joe.
Cheers, everybody. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, everybody.
What's up, Birdie? What's up, Robin? What's up, DA? What's up, Den? Shout out to the South Jersey peeps. I'm a Jersey boy originally.
Nice.
DA, I got like 20 minutes, but I wanted to show you something.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, yeah. Go ahead. If you got only a couple minutes, go ahead and show me something.
Well, it's not. I'm not in a huge rush. It's this. It's I liked it on X. I don't know if you were tuning into my stream. It's an entire horror movie about how there's a killer on a college campus, but he only goes after chicks with giant jugs. And and at first it's like B cups, which is not that big. And then it's like C cups. And then it's like all the girls are just getting implants. And they're like, oh my God, I thought it was like a C cup is like the cutoff. And like they're all running down the street in slow motion. And I wanted to show you the trailer for it.
Oh my God. How do we put the trailer full screen? You might have to walk me through that.
I got
shit.
you. I'm going to get you. Here we go. 1 second. I figured that's right up your alley. Oh, while I pull this up, DA, what's your best or what's everybody's best Halloween costume they've ever had?
For me, it was, I think, the White Rabbit. I had a really great costume that was the White Rabbit with whiskers and a top hat and kind of thing like that. And that was my thing. In fact, I got the White Rabbit well, you can't see it. I'm holding up to the camera, and you've got the whole spotlight right now because I thought you were going to show this thing. But anyways, I've got a white rabbit on my arm that I tattooed, which also has symbolism. Anyways,
Nice.
The White Rabbit was my favorite thing. So what do we got before we do I need to put you full screen so you can show something? Are you showing it? Are you going to load it as a backstage asset? You did load it as a backstage asset.
I think it's PG-13.
Oh, good Lord. It's already dude, I'm not even drinking. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I mean, first of all,
Birdie's under the parental advisory.
I'm not trying to get you banned, DA. I'm 99.9% sure that there's no actual tits. Okay.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
I would be nervous if I was you, but also trust me, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you're fine.
Right,
I'm joking. I think you'll be okay.
Now, is it a video that I'm going to play when I click on it?
Yeah, it's a video, and I'm really happy that my face is covered by the parental advisory during this. I have plausible deniability.
I'm
Yeah.
going to turn off the chat for a second and hide things so we can get.
No, I was joking. Right. I'm okay. Okay, all right. Oh,
now I don't see a play button. Where the fuck's the play button?
I got it.
This Halloween, no titties are safe.
A string of grisly co-ed murders at a local college campus has people talking about someone the kids are calling the Titty Killer.
I don't understand. The only connection to the victims is they all have incredible racks.
We're dealing with a real monster here.
All units respond to the Miller residence. We need EMS on standby.
What if I'm next?
Sweetheart, you're a B cup at best. I think you're gonna be fine.
This Halloween, no titties are safe. Just when you thought the titties were safe.
In breaking news tonight, 5 co-eds with large breasts have been murdered on a local...
You get my point, DA. We can leave it at that.
Wait a minute. I can stay here all day.
Oh, you want to keep watching it?
All day.
Okay. You want to keep watching it? Oh, okay.
Is there more? I mean, I can. I mean, I'm a fan. I mean,
there's about a minute and a half left.
That can't be real.
No, wait, hold on. Let's go. Play.
College campus sending shivers down the spine of any woman with a great front porch.
What do you mean he's back? I thought it was safe to go up a cup size.
Well, we better talk to all the women with large breasts.
Detective, what can I do?
Wait a minute.
Sweetheart,
Pause for a moment. There's a part of me right now that just realizes 70% of true crime fans are females. I'm pretty much probably inflaming my major demographic with this shit.
I just want you to know, this has nothing to do with people that tune in. I solely did this. I would have texted you this, but I figured you emailed me. I might as well show you on your stream. Right? So this is not for anybody other than me laughing with you.
well, we've come this far.
Oh my God, my wife's in here. Fuck.
Oh shit. In the video or in the room? Hold on, let's finish this video. Hold on, let's finish this video because I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. Let's go.
Someone says, DA, you look so happy.
Hide those even if you wanted to.
My God, the cheerleader convention is tomorrow.
Just when you thought the titties were safe. This Halloween, the titties are bigger. And they're still not safe.
It's been a year since the return of the Titty Killer, and after all this time, mystery still surrounds the brutal rash of attacks on women simply for having beautiful mommy milkers.
He's passing up every C cup just like the last time, and you don't think he's back, do you? Oh my God. Jesus Christ, none of the French exchange students are wearing bras. Get a patrol car over there. You've got nothing to worry about, but tell your girlfriends. I don't want to see anything bigger than a handful outside till this is over. Do you understand?
This Halloween, the titties are bigger, and they're still not safe.
Oh man,
dude. I mean, I'm gonna need a minute. I'm gonna need a minute.
Yeah, I bet you do. But
To talk swagger.
Oh,
I'm gonna be honest.
You just completely destroyed my show.
I'm sorry.
You came in, you lifted your leg, and you pissed on my show with tickle bitties. Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
that's amazing, Birdie. Thanks for sharing that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some kind of violation. I'm probably doing a hard time, and I'm going to be in a lawsuit. But other than that, that was pretty funny shit. Where'd you find that?
On X. That's why I was worried
On
about
X.
the actual tits showing. For real.
Right. I like how you're like, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be R-rated.
I didn't see anything that bad.
Oh my God. Yeah. Some people are like, you're glowing red. I think, yes, I am probably, it's funny because you would think by now you can't make me blush, but I apparently can blush, especially when you put it on my show and in my face.
I saw a comment that by Marianne that said, I would nip this in the butt, DA.
But I'm
That's
sure
my
it's got a
kinda- that's-
great script. I'm sure the writing is top notch.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
I'm
my
sure.
kinda
I'm
humor.
sure. Yeah. So that was amazing, sir. Yeah. Thanks for coming onto the show and completely derailing me.
I'm
Joe,
sorry.
let's get back real quick. So I wanted to make sure he had time to do that. Joe, did you?
How
have
can
any
I
mis-
follow that, man? Come on.
I don't. You know.
How am I
we
supposed
might as
to
well shut the
follow
stream
big
down.
giant
We've got
titties
nothing at
running
this
around
point.
on screen?
I have zero plan when I come onto your stream, DA. None.
That's the way it should be. That's probably the
I
way
came
it
in
should
with
be.
a-
This is why
a
we're doing
blank
a lot
mind.
kind of thing. Yeah. All right, Joe. Joe, tell us a little bit about your week or something here. Fucking bail us out of Tigo Bitties.
Oh, it's on me to bail you out of the tickle bitties. I don't know if I could follow that, man. That's a tough act to follow. I'm just a man, DA. You know how am I supposed to follow that?
I'm just a man. Careful,
Oh.
careful. As we're stacking men on the show, careful to remind our audience that we are 70% female. We had to tread this very, very lightly.
Yeah, well, you're too late for that, dude. Too late for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say
Sorry.
this, because I did watch Birdie's live last night, man, and that was a banger, man. That was I wasn't expecting that. I'll just put it that way.
Me either.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had Dot on the show. Is that and things kind of went off the rails on that at the end, huh? Or no?
Well, they went off the rails, and I actually, when I was editing, I stopped editing, and I wrote like a statement, and I texted you it. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to make sure that I summed it up good. And really, what I think happened is that Dot may have been a pawn for somebody else's narrative. I do believe that the confusion is that Dot is not the person herself that is saying, hey, I saw Emma and Demetrius and Dylan smoking weed outside on the couch. She's speaking on behalf of somebody else. She said that. I do understand the thought process. I'm not bailing her out. I'm saying I get that because everybody's got a story that's like, oh, my cousin did this or my uncle did that. My friend did that. You know what I mean? So I can see why, if you're truly convinced that somebody is telling you the truth, right? And she goes, and I got found out. I got essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah,
she was very emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard.
And if
Birdie, I had a question for you, Birdie. I remember the whole thing with Dot when it came out a while ago. So she didn't live in Moscow, right? She just knew somebody who lived there.
Yeah, it was somebody that she knows that is very close to Dylan.
Okay. Yeah, because when I started listening and then she popped on, at first I thought it was somebody trolling. Somebody was just trying to troll. And then when she got on, I recognized her voice from the original video she did a while back. But that got pretty heavy, man. Like I have to say.
Yeah. And before we get too far down there, I don't want to make AR like someone said, hey, you got AR Hayes in the background, show some respect. AR, I apologize for us taking so long to get to you. I want to make sure that in case you have to go early, that you have an opportunity to say hi. Hopefully you don't have to go early and you can hang out with us. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying the panel, Birdie. Very first time meeting you, my friend.
What's up, AR? I've watched a lot of your videos.
Great work. I hear a lot of good things about you through the grapevine, and it's nice to actually meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well.
Work.
What a great introduction to Birdie, right? To get that thrown in your face is that's what happens when you go on with Birdie. You have to be careful about that guy.
Well, I was enjoying the show. I'm going to stay behind my symbol for a while, and I might just put myself back on mute. I had to send the wife out of the room to go get something to eat real fast. And, I'm appreciative. I like Birdie even more now. I think maybe I'll have to spend more time with Birdie.
Oh, man.
They got pick nights. The wife is at work, but it's all good.
I'm failing upwards. That's what it is. I'm failing upwards.
Yeah, you are definitely failing upwards, I guess, on that. But AR, it's great to see you, man. We haven't, I was going pretty regular, with Pete Altieri from Murder Metal Mayhem, and that's where you and I connected. I haven't seen Pete for a while, and to be fair, for those who don't know, Pete and I did not have a falling out. I want to make sure you guys understand. Pete and I did not have a falling out. AR and I did not have a falling out. Pete just has a completely different kind of style of show than me, and it was getting to be one of those things of like, well, what do we talk about this week? Because we didn't have enough match up on the things that we do, and so I think it was kind of one of those things that like, well, rather than keep trying to force this all the time, let's take a little break. I've texted Pete a couple times, and we have a very congenial, friendly relationship. So I still consider him a friend. Same with AR. I think we've had a great time on camera together. So just want to let you guys know that there was, and I think AR showing up as a prime example. There's no bad blood that happened there, no story, no craziness. And so it's good to see you again, AR.
It's good to see you. I mean, people need to realize we're all different creators. We all respect each other. We don't always work with each other. I've never worked with Birdie. I've never reached out to Birdie. We have different styles. I respect you. I respect your style. It doesn't mean we're going to do shows together, but it's great to finally meet you and get to talk with you live. And in Devil's Advocate, it's been a pleasure working with you every time we've had the opportunity. I'm the same. Pete and I don't work together every day either. He's one of my best friends. That doesn't mean we do live shows together. Hell, I'm rarely even on the platform anymore, guys. So I don't know. But I enjoy all of you, and I appreciate all of you. And it's appreciative that you let me be up here with you guys, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And you are welcome to hang around. Our screen is losing real estate, as I also have 1-1 backstage. 1-1 is an NYPD police officer. He's not representing NYPD, but he's a friend of the show. He's also a friend of Birdie's show. So we both know 1-1 very well. I'm going to bring him up on screen, but we're losing real estate. Every person I add up here, which is kind of cool in a way, because I kind of like this format. I'm hoping I'm not missing too much of the chat. Robin, make sure we keep people's comments addressed if I lose track, because as I get more people on screen, it's hard to watch everybody. But
hey,
all right,
1-1. Did you?
Hello.
Did you see my rant last night where I'm like, and oddly enough, his name is 1-1. The only.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did. I watched. So everyone, hope you're having a good Saturday, great Saturday, good weekend. New York City did not get looted, amazingly. So a lot of us were on standby. Yeah, they activated. They were, you know what it is? We have an intelligence unit, and just like you would think our intelligence works, a lot of these groups and whatnot, they don't hide like where they're going and what they're doing. They put it all over social media, Facebook or whatever, Instagram, TikTok, and they had some credible source that they were going to pretty much destroy like Walmart and certain food stores and whatnot. And we were getting ready to have mayhem.
Wow.
But you got lucky and did not have mayhem. It's not like the other
No.
day when you had somebody cut somebody's head off and put it in a garbage can in New York.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's a typical day.
A typical day.
But yeah, before you get into the others, you know, I know I'm a little late. I was at, I wanted to, I see you have Birdie on, so I wanted to tell him, that was a really special show that you had on last night. I have to tell you that. I personally, you know, due to my, you know, law enforcement experience and whatnot, I have a lot of reservations and certain things about some of the stuff that Dot has said. But I thought the show that you had was just like, you knocked it out of the park. And I really just, I have to say, you know, shame on any of the people who, you know, you just like trying to, you know, shit all over Birdie for you know, I really appreciate the fact that you allowed, you know, Dot to give her a chance to, you know, explain herself. I really think that I really think it was a special show that you had, and it did. I missed like just like a little bit because I was at work when you were doing it. Definitely the end of it. I don't think that. I don't think she was faking her emotion. I do think that was real emotion, as you said, coming through the, you know, her voice, her, you know, whatever. But it was a special show. So, definitely, you know, props to you. And I have to say, you know, I'm friends with, many of them, like, Amanda and UFO Dog and, well, you know, all the other mods that you have. I mean, they had an extremely difficult, it was a very hard show to moderate last night. And they really did an outstanding job. They weren't trying to ban people. I mean, a few people got put in time out here or there, but they deserved it. So really kudos to them. And, that's it. You know, I wanted you to hear from me. But yes, I did hear your comment at the end.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, guys, before we get to yeah, sorry about that, Birdie. I didn't mean to cut you off for replying to one there. You want to say something back real quick?
No, you're good, man.
All right. So before we get too deep, because I know that, you know, AR might need to drop off or, you know, who knows who might need to drop off. Let me get a couple things out of the way. I think, you know, this night is flying by. I was going to do about, you know, an hour and a half to 2 hours, and already 45 minutes has gone out the window. And that half of that was looking at Tiggle biddies. And I'm pretty sure that we're in trouble for that one. But, I do want to show on screen a little bit of a couple of things. If I get the right thing on screen, this is again my welcome message. This is again Amanda B. Thank you for the graphics. She's doing this amazing branding. And by the way, when you see the devil and the little imp, it isn't because I'm evil. I'm just drawn that way, according to Roger Rabbit. That's an old reference. You have to be really fucking old to get that joke. But the point being is that she's doing this cool graphics. My Devil's Advocates thing is playing Devil's Advocates with mainstream media. That's what it's really about. But we've kind of gotten this kind of cool vibe because I do dig the dark stuff as far as the look and the graphics and the color, the blacks and the orange. Freaking amazing. I wanted to tell you a few things, just a quick announcements, and then we can get into talking about Idaho 4 for those who want to stay, because that was a big thing that I did a video on this morning. The video, as far as I know, is still popping off, doing really well on YouTube, and I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about any other thoughts. We probably will spend the remainder of the evening talking about Idaho 4, but I have 5 cases. I'm going to briefly introduce those very briefly, and then we're going to do all Idaho 4 probably, just because of the way it works now. So I'm going to try to go to a nightly live now at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because one thing I've learned from Birdie is consistency is really a key. Birdie's always on, and you don't even have to find out what night of the week Birdie's on. If it's 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever time it is your turn, Birdie's on, because that's what he fucking does. And I'm like, man, I need to at least try that to be consistent. So, hey, I'm going to try to be around for a while, see what happens. I'm going to try to be a little bit later than when Birdie does his show. So those who are fans of both of our stuff, because I know a lot of our fan base kind of overlaps a lot. A lot of people found me through Birdie. I don't think anybody's found Birdie through me, but a lot of people found me through Birdie. So anyways, I'm going to try to go a little bit late on the show.
I bet
there might be at this point. There might be at this point. Our channel's grown pretty good. So Anyways, I'm gonna try to go a little bit later so that when Birdie's wrapping up his show, you guys can filter over to my show if you want. Or if Birdie's just sucking ass over there and stinking it up, you can come watch my show anyways. Whatever the feel after you're like, that sucks, dude. I'm over at Lee's show. But anyways, just kidding, Birdie. You never suck. So I want to point out a couple things real quick. Idaho 4 anniversary tour. Joe and I from State of the Deep, who's there in that little tiny picture on the side of the screen. Joe and I are going to Moscow, Idaho. Birdie was invited as well, by the way, but Birdie couldn't pull it off. I tried to twist Birdie's arm. In fact, it was Birdie's idea to go to Moscow, Idaho, but the timing just didn't work out. But Joe was like, hey, you know what? Let's go on November 12th. And I didn't even make the connection. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. I can make that work. And he's like, yeah, it's like the anniversary. I'm like, oh my God, it is the anniversary. So yeah, we're going to go put boots on the ground, Moscow, Idaho, Pullman, Washington. I went to school there. We're going to do some filming. I'm going to do a lot of filming with my nice freaking 4K, 8K camera. We'll do a lot of recording there, boots on the ground, and we will share all of that with you. Probably also do a live from Moscow, Idaho as well. If we don't get shot, because today I actually on a video today called Detective Payne a fucking bastard. I actually did, you fucking bastard. And I was like, oh my God, like I probably should backpedal that a little bit since I'm going to Moscow, Idaho. I may not have been smart to call Payne a fucking bastard. And it wasn't a moment of passion. I was really, really upset about something and it flew out of my mouth and I apologized. It was wrong. It was wrong. I was passionate. So anyways, and then Deep Devils, we normally go on Sunday with the Deep Devils episode. We are maybe going to sneak that in tomorrow, a recording, and maybe issue it tomorrow a little bit later in the day. We're working out the details. Deep Devils episode, this was going to be on CIA cutouts. I actually worked for a CIA cutout. I didn't realize that at the time, but Bechtel National was a construction company. And I told this story before, but when we were doing some kind of special meeting about counterintelligence. I'm like, why did we have a counterintelligence talk at a construction company? And they're like, you don't know? This is a CIA front. I'm like, fuck, are you kidding me? I thought that was like a joke. Anyways, real quick, I'm not going to cover the details in this. I'm just going to tell you the 5 cases that the Devil's Advocates channel covers. By the way, one of my struggles at YouTube is that YouTube hasn't figured me out yet, because I don't just talk about Brian Koberger and Idaho 4, and I don't just talk about Tyler Robinson and Charlie Kirk or Luigi Mangione where it started, or Rex Heuermann and the Long Island serial killer, or Mickey Steins, who I don't talk about very much. But because I talk about all these people, YouTube's trying to figure out, well, what the hell is your audience? It's true crime. That's my audience. True crime, and I believe in the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in a court of law. And I play devil's advocates with the mainstream media narrative. So that's my thing. That's my shtick. So let's get into Brian Koberger. And if we spend the rest of the night here, so be it. Out of a curiosity, as I bring you guys up on screen, Robin, you watched the video this morning, right? That I did.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
Joe, did you watch it or did you?
Mind blown.
Yeah. I watched it.
Yeah.
I watched it.
I did too.
I think one did. Who else does that? Was that Birdie?
Yeah.
Did you see it or not?
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, I watched it.
I won't blame AR if he didn't watch the video. He didn't even fucking know we were going live until just a few minutes ago. Are you still there, AR?
I'm still here. I haven't even been watching YouTube, period. I've been out. So
yeah, how you doing, by the way, on a personal level? You had some issues for a while there. You had an injury, right, that you were healing from. Are you all healed up on that?
No, I've had 6 surgeries. It's not coming back. So we're just moving on.
Shit, man.
So yeah, I'm all healed up. I'm going to go to counseling and get some mental help.
Oh yeah, man, I don't even know when to take you serious or not at this point, but that I know you did go through a patch there, and so I hope that things are at least turning in the right direction for.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'll be honest. Things are good. Like I said, I'm working on the mental side of things. It's bringing everything to a positive nature. One of my good friends is Unfiltered Lucky. I don't know if you gentlemen and ladies up here know of him, but we talk a lot behind the scenes, and he helps me out. And Birdie, to be honest with you, you're one of the creators that I do catch more than others of, just because you are very dedicated. You work very hard at your craft. So when I do tune in, I'm able to jump over and I sit in the background, man. I listen, I learn. I appreciate your work ethic. I never have anything negative to say. Even if I did, I'd probably just do it behind doors. Wouldn't tell you about it, but
well, I appreciate that.
I appreciate the fact that you work with Lana. You work with a widespread group of people, So please, anybody that asks me if I've seen your content, don't take it negatively when I say, no, I actually haven't. It's not that I don't like you. It's not that I just literally have not been around to do it, but I will definitely jump on that. I'll give you some likes. I'll give you some love, and I'll jump on your videos.
Thank you very much for that. And by the way, I don't want this. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the mental health shout out. By the way, I also am going to see a therapist for the first time. Well, I saw a therapist a year ago when I first kind of was dealing with my weight issues, and I got a nutritionist. The first step my therapist put me on was with a nutritionist, and I lost 100 pounds, and I feel great. But now I'm kind of going back for the mental side of that shit. So,
dude, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I had diabetes. I had a 9.5 A1C. I'm now under 5.
Oh wow!
I've reversed diabetes. I don't have diabetes anymore. I'm off all my medications except for 2 blood pressure medications, because when you listen to me talk, you know why I'm on blood pressure medications.
I didn't know that, DA.
Well done,
for you, bro. Yeah,
and I don't always talk.
I wish more people would listen to you about that too, because so many people don't realize that you can reverse diabetes.
Yep. Yeah.
You can. Well, type 2 at least.
Yeah, type 2, right? Type 2, right? Type 1 is that's just a body misfunction, and you can't do much about that. But
yeah, I've been type 1 for 48 years. I've been on dialysis 13 years, and so it's been fun. It's been a battle, and that's why I'm now focusing on positivity and mental. Is the physical grind can overwhelm you. And I'm thinking the mental side of things is great, but I got to start joining Birdie in refreshments. I think not only content but refreshments.
Oh yeah,
you know,
you gotta join in Shotgun Friday.
That's all one.
I know Birdie.
Real quick before I throw it to you, DA, it's actually amazing to be up here because. I'm not the most social. I don't get around. I think you know that, DA. For the gentleman that joined from New York that's worked in law enforcement, got a lot of love, a lot of respect for you. I've served over 20 years in the box in the penitentiary. So it's a new life for me. It's a new start. It's a new chance. And I've got a loving wife. But the social issues is where I've struggled. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to allow me to come up here, because this helps me expand to become more comfortable in maybe growing and becoming better at not only my craft, but maybe even encouraging and supporting you all in yours, which I think is important on this platform. We've got enough hate, enough negativity. I'd rather just support you guys, whether I agree with what you have to say or not. I want to support you and see you all be successful, because I think that's what could help me be successful. So a lot of love to you guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no, thank you as well. And and it's funny because I know when I was talking, we'll get into Idaho 4 really, really quick for those who are holding on and going, oh my God, would you freaking talk about Idaho 4 finally? we will get it. But I know when we first were getting ready to meet each other, you and I, AR, and Pete was like, I think AR might be a little bit nervous about going on with you because you talk so fucking fast and he won't get in a word in edgewise. Yet I felt genuinely that you and I had an instant connection. I liked you the second we were on screen together, even backstage, and I think that was mutual. I could feel it from you. So I think that putting yourself out there, opening yourself up for some friendships and stuff like that is a good way to heal. And I applaud taking that chance to go on with the crazy DA who talks a million miles an hour.
Well, I appreciate you allowing me to do it. So I'll let you jump into the Idaho 4. I think that's what everybody's here for.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So the big takeaway, if I could summarize what happened, was I had said early on. Now this isn't going to be super popular, but I had said early on, one of the first videos I ever made of Idaho 4 was a question: what if Brian Koberger was just the getaway driver? What if he was there, but what if he didn't even go into the house? What if he just dropped somebody off and he was just the getaway driver? It could explain a whole bunch of stuff. And also not necessarily say that he went into the house and did all that by himself, because I didn't think that one person, for that matter, was capable of doing everything that they said was done. Now, the big thing that happened last night was a shocker in my world. And that is, by the way, I have to tell you, I'm so sick and tired of people correcting me on saying, DA, you're an idiot. They knew about Kohberger way back at, and then pick your fucking date. They knew about him in July. They knew about him, whatever. I'm sorry, people. I read you the freaking legal document where Detective Payne, Corporal Payne, said on the stand the first time he had heard Brian Kohberger's name was December 19th. So everybody can just piss off at the whole, everybody knows they knew about Brian Kohberger ahead of time. The official record is they did not know. NPD, Moscow Police Department, did not know Brian Kohberger's name until December 19th after the feds had taken data from Othram Labs, who couldn't deliver the name Brian Kohberger to them. Othram Labs came up with a hit to 4 brothers who were not Brian Kohberger's family. They worked up a family tree on that side and then across and down the family tree to get to Kohberger. And that's horseshit. And I think I know where that came from. But all along, I said to you, they said Brian Kohberger was somebody they didn't even know about until December 19th. And it was important. And I'll tell you why it's important. Because there was a narrative that said, Ann Taylor said, that knife sheath may have been planted. And a lot of you busted my nuts and you said, you can't plant a knife. They didn't even know who it was until they did the DNA. So how would you plant evidence on somebody if you don't know who he is? Clearly, they couldn't have planted the knife. Well, you fucking missed a whole lot, pardon my French, on how the planting of the DNA happened. Because I think I just figured it out. I think I just figured out why Ann Taylor said that knife was planted. So you guys who have watched this video, it sounds like almost everybody has watched the video. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go watch the video. Shit, I don't even know what the exact title of it is. Is it something like, what was it, Robin? Do you remember the exact title of the video?
While Robin's looking that up, my comment on that is, like, dude, finally, people are able to look at documents. And smart people like yourself, DA, genuinely, you're very smart. You're able to connect that. And then when you do it and we see it, or other people, you know, whether they are creators or not, they see it, they're like, holy shit, that makes sense. You made so much sense in your video.
Yeah, and like I said, the thing that would, you know, again, I can't tell you the number of times I've been kicked in the teeth by people saying, you know, they knew about Brian Kohberger way from the beginning, and yet I had to do. Ann Taylor got the lead detective in the case, Payne, to say at least 5 times. So the first time you heard of Brian Kohberger's name was December 19th. Is that correct? Yes. So before that, you didn't know who Brian Kohberger was, right? Yes. So. Yes. After you heard about his name on the 19th, you did, like, she hit it a million times. And I said, the first time I said it, I was like, wow, she's really beaten when they knew about him. Here's why. Ann Taylor knew it was a lie. Ann Taylor knew they already knew who Brian Kohberger was before the 19th. And for those of you who don't think that matters, it fucking matters. And I'm going to explain that in a minute here. Go ahead, Birdie.
DA, the title of that video from today is Proof the DNA was Planted to Convict Kohberger in Idaho 4. I'm going to put the link in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
DA, so you say that. Let me ask you this. Why would they let that entire truth, which that is the truth, out at this point?
You know what? I actually have a theory about that. And here's the thing. I think it was a mistake. And I'll tell you why. If you look at the latest release of documents, which is 2,000 something pages, right? A whole bunch of shit is redacted. A whole bunch of pages has a list of people and it's suspect blacked out, name redacted. Suspect blacked out, name redacted. And then a bunch of victims. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When they started to unredact things, they're like, we don't have to redact the name of the victims or Brian Kohberger at this point because we know who they are. We can unredact that. Somebody fucked up on one document and unredacted Brian Kohberger's name, and it shows up as a suspect on December 5th, weeks before they said they had him. And I think it was a mistake. I think somebody fucked up and accidentally unredacted his name because they're used to unredacting anything that has Brian Kohberger's name on it, and they didn't intend to show Brian Kohberger on December 5th, I think.
Do you ever wonder, in general, like, the guy has been tracked beforehand. They have everything you just said. Why let him cross state lines? Why the redactions? Why everything else? My opinion, we're at the point a theory cannot be that straightforward. You have to look at everything now. Right? You're not wrong in your theory, but it's like there has to be outside influences into why would they allow that?
Right. And again, to close the loop, let me tell you a few more things before we get into this big. I want to have your guys' opinion, because people can go listen to 45 minutes or 47 minutes of me ranting about what happened. But I do want to summarize a couple more points real quick. So they knew about him on the 5th. One of the things that also came out is they listed the chain of custody. They listed the chain of custody.
Oh, God.
And there's major sections of the chain of custody where they say, by the way, when we received this particular package, this submission, the custody fucking tape was missing. So we went ahead and added the tape back in and signed it. Or this custody tape arrived without initials on it. So we went ahead and initialed it. Thank God for them that they at least had the balls to admit, hey, when this came in, the chain of custody had already been broken. There was already evidence, in my opinion, that somebody had tampered with it. Now, it's possible it's a clerical error. It's possible somebody just made a mistake, but they literally said submission number 9 came in and the evidence tape wasn't signed. So I went ahead and signed it. That means that could have been somebody else could have taken the one off that was signed by somebody, taken it off and just slapped another label on and didn't sign it because they didn't want their fucking name on it. So then somebody documents, hey, I got this with no name on it. So I went ahead and signed it on this date. That's a problem, especially when you look at what you're talking about, planted DNA. So if they knew about Bryan Kohberger on the 5th and they wanted to place him at the house, because here's the theory in the nutshell, if you want to get to the gist of it. If they believed, and I have a reason to believe, the feds knew early on that Kohberger and another individual, and I'm just going to say my theory is that Brent Kopacka and Bryan Kohberger were there that night, and they knew that. The problem is Brent Kopacka got killed. Brent Kopacka was shot and killed 1 month and 1 day after the murders, and it was a big oh shit, because these two guys may have been involved in that crime. That's a possibility. I know some of you are going to be like, no, DA, no, Bryan Kohberger is 100% innocent. I don't know if he is or he isn't. What I'm saying is I believe they were tracking him and they thought he was involved with that crime. That's why he's on a piece of paper on the 5th saying a suspect in the murders. They thought Bryan Kohberger was involved in the murders very early on. They thought 2 people were involved with the murders very, very early on. Problem is, one of them died. So they were left with one thing, one guy. Now here's the problem. Bill Thompson's words, I can't place Bryan Kohberger at the house. I can't place Bryan Kohberger at the house. So what did they do? They tried to get Molly McBullshit to come in and say that she saw Bryan Kohberger at the house. She did not fucking see Bryan Kohberger at the house. For fuck's sake, educate yourself if you're not on that. Molly never saw Bryan Kohberger at the house, but they were going to have her ass come on there and lie. They were going to lie to a jury and say Molly saw him at the house. She did not see him at the house, and we know she didn't see him at the house. That's been covered extensively. Molly never saw his ass at the house, and they were going to have her come in as a surprise witness and say she saw him there. That was one way they were going to place Bryan Kohberger at the house. The other way they were going to try to place him at the house was the DNA. Now we know that they knew about him early on, so they could have placed the DNA at the house because they needed to get them there, and the prosecution backpedaled on the DNA. Everybody in fucking America went on this whole DA, they've got him. His DNA is at the crime scene. How can you argue it? How can you argue it? Because they knew about him on the 5th and they needed to place him in the house. And then all of a sudden, mysteriously, a knife thief shows up with a speck of DNA of the guy that they need to place at the house. And even with that, the prosecution didn't want to cover the DNA. They didn't want to talk about the DNA at trial. They told you that. We don't intend to use the DNA. We've got enough circumstantial evidence. Of course you don't, you sons of bitches, because the DNA was planted. That's what the deal is. You didn't want to get into the DNA because you know the DNA was planted. So you used it to get to the guy, and then you forced him and said, look, we're going to hang you for this, whether you're guilty or not. We're going to hang you for it. And he accepted a plea deal because he's like, I'm screwed. You won't let me offer alternative suspects. You won't let me fight the DNA. You won't let me you keep hiding behind the DNA, saying that it's a law enforcement secret. We don't have to show you how we got the DNA. You didn't get the fucking DNA. The DNA didn't go to Bryan Kohberger. I'm sorry, I'm pissed. You didn't get to Bryan Kohberger. You didn't get to him. You know you didn't get to him. So somebody may have tampered with the evidence and planted the evidence, and that's why Ann Taylor said, I think the knife sheath was planted. I know there's alternate suspects. And Hippler said, nope, I don't want to hear that shit. DNA is DNA every day and twice on Sunday. We're going to tell the jury that, and I'm not going to let you talk about alternative suspects. And they said, then fuck it. Well, plea. At least you won't execute our guy.
Even though he is in the middle of those alt suspects, which is wild, right? So you don't have enough for alt suspects, yet Bryan Kohberger is in the middle of the bunch of your alt suspects. which is crazy, and in court
Right.
documents.
Right.
So yeah,
So-
one of the things that I wanted to jump in on, and I'm also piggyback on to what Dot was saying on Birdie's stream last night. There's been so many quote unquote rumors about from the very beginning of this case. And if the police or the feds would lie about certain things that you can pretty much confirm were lies, then there's no telling how many of the things we've been told are lies. So
Right.
if you know, to talk about the knife sheath, potentially, you know, the DNA was planted. Well, look at all the other inconsistencies. Look at the PCA versus what we saw on the body cam videos and the 911 call that was released.
I'm sorry. Let me back up the PCA. In the court documents, the PCA was shown to us by Ann Taylor. They admitted the PCA, which is a probable cause affidavit. This was the document that was taken to a magistrate to sign off on the arrest of Brian Kohberger. That has to convince a magistrate that there's enough evidence to go after Brian Kohberger. Things like, hey, look, the killer arrived in a car. It was a white Elantra. Brian Kohberger drives a white Elantra. The car was this particular white Elantra. It was missing a front license plate. Brian Kohberger's car is missing a front license plate. All those kind of details were given to a magistrate, and the magistrate said, man, that sounds really good. Go get him. I think you got enough for a probable cause affidavit. Go get Brian Kohberger. Ann Taylor then pointed out, by the way, did you know that they never saw the missing license plate on the white Elantra? That was written into after the fact when they identified Brian Kohberger, then found out that he was from Pennsylvania, then found out he didn't have a front license plate, and then they wrote into the document, we observed him with no front license plate after the fact. And Payne said, yeah, it wasn't meant to be deceptive though. It was a working document. We were constantly revising the document. So yeah, when we found out that he didn't have a front license plate, we wrote in that it didn't have a front license plate. Are you listening? Are we
gaslighting ourselves? Honestly, you know what I mean? Like we have to, at a certain point, step back. We are able to decipher and dig through the weeds, be patient enough and look at these documents. This is way too obvious. And honestly, it's insulting for us to think that the professionals can't see this. Like it's almost more insulting to think that, wow, we are the only people outside of the courtroom to see this. It's not to say that we're not clever. It's not to say that we can't think outside the box, but come on, guys. Let the FBI do it. What do you think, you're pros? No, we're not pros, right? Most of us, we're not. So why aren't they doing it? Why are they letting us do this? That's what's effed. And then why are we being shamed on top of it for very obvious misconduct, very obvious inconsistencies, very obvious, like, hold on. That's not normal for the United States in general. When it comes to the court system, what are we talking about here? You are supposed to prove reasonable doubt as it, by the way, that's a guardrail. Reasonable doubt is not a loophole. Reasonable doubt is a guardrail.
Guardrail. Good
if
choice.
there's two options, doubt survives. Therefore, a jury can't convict you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, DA, like the documents, like, again, I hate to keep saying the same thing over and over, but I think the overview is the most important thing. If one thing is a lie, then theoretically everything can be a lie, right? Because if they're willing to lie about certain aspects of the case, then they'd be willing to lie about just about any other aspect of the case. And if there's federal involvement, if federal law enforcement is involved, they have the capability to override anything on a local level. From day one, when the feds got involved in this case, I said, oh shit, you can be sure you're going to get lied to, because the track record shows it, that, and so it's hard for me to look at documents and things like that without looking at the bigger picture, zooming out and saying, well, if this was an operation of some sort, whether it be trafficking related, whether CIs were involved with that house, whether Brian was a Fed, or he was a CI. In either case, they would have reason to straight out lie to the public about it, right? Because they don't want the public to know that there was an operation going on, or even an operation that went off the rails, you know? So it's just when you like the document stuff, I look at it, I take it with a grain of salt, because if they're going to lie about one thing, everything we've been told could be a lie.
And here's the thing, like there's a part of me that, here's the thing. And I feel like in America, a lot of you and I are not the same. And here's where I would say, let's say, just for the shits and giggles, let's say Bryan Kohberger was involved that night. Let's say, just for shits and giggles, that he was the driver, that he didn't actually go in. He drove somebody to the crime scene. Somebody else went in that had the skills to do so, wiped out the 4 people, got back in the car, and they peeled out. So Bryan Kohberger does know what happened, and he was there. He is one of the guys. Let's say that for shits and giggles. There's a part of you that thinks if that other guy was Brent Kopak and he's dead now, and the only other person involved is Bryan Kohberger, then the end justifies the mean. They got them both. Thank God they got them both. There's a lot of people in America that would be happy with that solution. I don't care how they got him. If they had to lie to get him, then they had to lie to get him. They got both the guys. He's away. We can rest easier. They got the right guy. The ends, for me, do not justify the means. If you have to break the law, while trying to say you uphold the law, that's full of shit. That's my problem. So you and I are not the same. If for you, it's okay that maybe he was involved and they got him, and I don't give a shit how they got him, as long as they get him, that's what ends at the end of the day. And I realize that's a super difficult thing, because what it says is, are you okay with a killer walking free? I don't know that Kohberger was involved. Here's, just like Joe said, if they're going to lie about that, what else are they lying about? That's just the tip of the iceberg. If they're going to lie about that, what else are they going to lie about? And that's the problem we're fighting with. Don't lie about shit, because if you do, then we don't know where the lies end on the whole thing.
I actually think what you just did is a great segue into the point of maybe the people that they say and that we have speculated on committing this crime being Kopaka and Kohberger. Why did they treat Dylan and Bethany this way? Why did Bethany fucking fight a subpoena?
Yeah.
Right. So to your point, they got to break the law to catch them. Well, hang on. Let's just back up. So you're saying you have no idea who Kohberger is until the FBI gives the tip and everything else with what you said. Maybe it's way before Stacey Chapin knows. She's blurbing it out on CrimeCon's stage.
Right.
So hold on. Let's all just back up. What are we actually talking about? When did you find out about Bryan Kohberger? Why are the roommates not treated as suspects? And why is one of them fighting a subpoena to come back to testify for a lone wolf narrative serial killer? Give me a break.
Birdie, one of the things I've said a bunch of times, think about it. It sounds really simple, but if they already knew who was really the killer right from the jump, then that would explain why they didn't investigate.
How would they know? And who is it though?
Well, what I'm saying is if right from the beginning they had suspicions about who it was, or they were trying to cover something up that they knew had happened,
I think
like
it's
somebody that was involved.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
They wouldn't go after the 2 roommates, right? If they sort of behind
That's
the
my
scenes.
point. It has to be they already knew. It has to be. It's not like suspicions. No, they had to have known, right? You guys get what I'm saying with that?
Yeah.
You have to know if there's no press conference for 3 or 4 days. You have to know when you say there's no risk. You have to know when you don't treat the 2 survivors and the rumors of a 5th roommate or people going to the hospital seriously, and people like Dot or whoever, right? In general, I'm saying this just because it's relevant. When you don't follow up on that, okay, you have to know. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, they had to have known something. And it's funny how the further away you get from a case or from the event itself, a lot more details get piled on and documents get piled on. But like, look at the whole Brent Kopaka thing. I mean, what are the chances that some guy in the area gets taken out fucking shortly after this crime? And one of the things that DA and I have talked about, I'd like to get your guys' feedback on this. Like, from what I understand, Brent Kopacka trained at Fort Bragg, right? Fort Bragg is an important place in as far as like special operations and psychological operations. And one of the theories that I had sort of early on is that if he was involved, it could be that he would have been taken out because they don't want things to get out that he may have been involved in. And that if he went to court, it would put a microscope on him by the media. And if people started digging in more and more about this guy, they might find out stuff about his background.
Right. Let me let me riff on that a little bit. There is a scenario in which the feds knew Brian Kohberger before he came out to Pullman, because there was a big money grant. Birdie was the one that turned me on to this. The big NIJ funding that came to Pullman, Washington, like $1 million, I think it was, to study crimes.
And nobody talks about it.
$2.1 million. And Birdie, you were all over that shit. And when you said it, I was like, well, follow the money is something I've always been told. So follow this logic. If the feds knew Brian Kohberger came out to Pullman because in part of that NIJ funding, the $2.1 million, and they already knew him. And let's say they were working with Kohberger. Kohberger made it clear he wanted to work with the feds. He wanted to be a fed. He wanted to be a criminal specialist. That guy had fed written all over him. So he comes over there to Pullman, Washington on a big NIJ grant. It's actually in his writings. When you saw pictures of Kohberger's apartment, you saw paperwork with NIJ written on it. He knew about the funding. He came to Pullman for the funding, one could argue. So if the FBI knew about Kohberger and he was on their radar and they were maybe even grooming him, and then something went off the rails, you don't think the FBI wants their fucking name away from Brian Kohberger ASAP? They're like, oh shit, one of our guys just went rogue or something like that. That's one scenario. So, and that would lead to some cover-ups. Yeah, go ahead, Birdie. You had something?
Have you seen, so to this entire point, you said follow the money. Okay. That was one thing where I'm like gaslighting myself, or I'm like, hold on. I went deep into this rabbit hole on websites and everything. And I'm like, why is nobody taking this and running with it at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got an entire study on predictive criminal behavior.
Yes.
And then after the crime, you have the SAFE Act enacted at the University of Idaho, which is over $1 million.
Right, where they piggybacked money from the other side of this thing
to prevent violent acts of crime from happening. So what are the odds that Kohberger transfers across the country to a school, which, by the way, WSU is very prominent in criminology. Kohberger is a very prominent.
Yeah, WSU is a very strong criminology place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what are the odds that he just crosses the state line to a school that's in the middle of a merger for hundreds of millions of dollars that maybe the funding for the SAFE Act after the fact will bridge the gap for tuition. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab onto your Johnson and I'm going to take a giant swing and swing it up you, because you're right. You're right. Follow the money, man.
I would be an idiot to sit here and say that I got this shit figured out, because this is the most insane case I've ever seen. But I've said for a long time, DA's probably sick of hearing me say it. I've said this is an op for a long time.
Yes.
What type of an op? It could be many different angles. This shit's complex, but it's, in my opinion, there's no question that this was some type of an op.
Yes. Go look at the new dump truck footage.
They definitely wouldn't have let him. If they knew that Kohberger was 100% one of the murderers, they would not have let him gone across country like that.
Unless they're going to, quote, cast that net far and wide and let him travel across state lines, which is probably one of the only highways that goes off of the Pacific Northwest, which we know is a very trafficked route for drugs and humans, across how many states? They're going to pull him over twice. They're going to show record of it, and they're going to go, let's cast that net. So now from Ohio to fucking Idaho, they can cast that net, which is the document, by the way, that says extortion and overt threats underneath Kohberger and all the victims' names.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to do two major things. So it's going to Joe's idea of what else will they cover up. I want to hit that and the theory, the rumors that there was a police officer having an affair with Kaylee. So that's one of the things. Would that have been covered up? Would that have been an embarrassment to Moscow Police Department? Would they want it public knowledge that police officers are banging college girls? Would they want that going out there in the public and that they've got an officer fooling around? And it may have nothing to do with the murders, but they're going to want to cover that shit up. That if that was happening. And that was a rumor, but it was
with
out
the merger,
there in the wind.
DA, with
Yeah.
the merger of the University of Phoenix, it might be covered up for. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Moscow is where the University of Idaho is, and you have cops fucking students.
Yeah.
It's a $700 million deal.
Yeah. Is that going to screw up your money deal? Is that going to screw up your money deal if you find out cops are banging your college students when you're trying to get money for that? So there's a million things. And the question becomes, if you're going to, again, let's go back to the question. If you're going to lie about planting evidence on Kohberger to get the bad guy, what else will you lie about to protect your money? Will you lie about officers' involvement with the girls? Will you lie about who was there? What officers were off duty? What officers were in the neighborhood? What officers were seen by Molly McMichael instead of fucking Brian Kohberger, explaining and hiding body cameras, fighting the request to get the cops' phones so we can find out who they were texting and what they were doing that night, fighting that. Why would you fight all that? Because you don't want people asking those questions. Because it is a major affront to all kinds of money and all kinds of corruption going on in that town, potentially. This is a theory.
DA, would you lean into Molly McMeth and have her say something, knowing that you have leverage on her for charges to help that cover up?
Yes, 100%. I mean, again, it was pretty clear, in my opinion, that they were letting Molly basically have like, hey, if you help us, we'll help you.
Yes.
As she said, I'm friends with Bill Thompson, and I have to go testify against Kohberger. Why now? You know why now? Because Bill Thompson said I can't place.
It's
Bill
so obvious,
Thompson
guys.
said, I can't put Brian Kohberger in the house. So now Molly McMichael, who's a friend of Bill Thompson, is going to come out and say, I saw Brian Kohberger there that night. You fucking did not see him there. Why are people not losing their mind on this story?
She didn't even describe Kohberger. Her description matches Tisdale, and we know that Rosenthal went to that house. I don't, can't say 100%, say 99%. I've seen enough video and enough evidence of the different cars and that stuff. He definitely was there. Definitely Tisdale was driving around, whatever, that document where he explains the loop that he drove around.
Yes.
He was honest. And I tell you that, getting the info on their phones 100% would, they're going to fight that to the end of the day, because that would 100% positively prove that Rosenthal was there.
So
because if Rosenthal is working with Tisdale, they're in plain clothes. I'm pretty sure, whether he had anything to do with the murders or not, when it was time for him to leave, assuming he met up with Kaylee or whatever he was doing, when it was time to leave, I'm sure he had something worked out. So it's either he called or he texted Tisdale. So now if there's a phone call, well, there's your red herring right there. No, we can't hear the phone call. We don't know what they spoke about. But why would Rosenthal be calling Tisdale? Why would there be a call log? It's his partner. You're sitting next to him. Why are you calling him on the phone? Doesn't make sense. If it's a text message, then get a subpoena and see the text. And I'm sure it's one of those two things. There's either a quick phone call or there's a text message that says, all right, I'm done. Come around, whatever the hell he said, come around or I'm ready.
And I want people to realize, hold on, Birdie. I want people to realize 1-1's an officer. An officer's asking, why are you texting your partner? If you're sitting with your partner, why the fuck are you that's a police officer is saying, hey, why the hell would you be texting your partner? Isn't he supposed to be sitting with you?
Exactly. and to go off of DA and 1-1, let me ask you this, 1-1. is there a protected tip line for informants when shit hits the fan on an operation? Because that could also then explain the delay in the 911 call. So if somebody is an informant and they, instead of calling 911, call the tip line or the protected line that they are instructed to, if shit goes awry, to your point, like does something like that exist? Because you wouldn't want that on the air. You wouldn't want that on people's police scanners in their radios, in their living room.
Right. Yeah, it's fine. It's all of that. That's definitely possible. There is stuff like that goes on,
Right.
but
there have to be
definitely,
to protect
yeah,
the CIs.
definitely, yeah, definitely. They'll do whatever they can to protect, you know, the CIs and whatever operation, of course. But I just, and I think most of the manipulation of the cameras and whatnot that have been done have been to hide anything that shows something with Rosenthal. And I think there's also, and I think the 7 minutes,
26
12,
seconds.
26 seconds, I believe. So I believe they follow Kohlberger's car when he first leaves, and it mysteriously disappears right around the area of where Kopaka lives. I find that highly suspicious. And the other thing that really annoys me about the whole thing, Ted, because I know we mentioned Kopaka, what are the odds that this whole thing, you know, all this goes on, Kopaka mysteriously, right? There's a 911 call and whatever, and there's a SWAT team or whatever's going on. He gets executed. There's no body camera footage. This guy's phone is wiped. Are you kidding me? How the hell is his phone wiped?
I'll be right back to you.
Thank you. Yes. Oh my God. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Not only is the Kopaka story suspicious because of the way he died and the fact that, in my opinion, his family is back in Pennsylvania with the Koberger family, ended up in Podunk, Washington, which is in the middle of nowhere, together within a couple blocks of each other. The odds that they don't know each other are pretty slim. Then he gets killed by a SWAT team, and his phone is factory wiped. And his best friend says, I don't get it. His phone was on the counter and somebody factory wiped his phone. And someone on the interview says, that's weird. He's like, it's super fucking weird. Yeah, it's weird. Because you know what I think? I think Koberger's name was maybe in that guy's phone. And they wanted to wipe the connection between Kopaka and Koberger. But
yeah.
Hey, 1-1. I didn't get the chance to say hello, man. How you doing?
Yeah. Hello. I actually sent you a message earlier. I know if you got it. I actually had a birthday party to go to earlier with my son. It was at some bounce, like jump around house, and they had some kind of machine in there where it simulated like a hurricane. I've never seen anything like that. I took a picture of it. I sent it to you. It made me think of you.
What on Discord?
Yeah.
I didn't get it.
Yeah. I'll send it to you again. Because I know you're big in. I know you're big into all the weather stuff. So I'm like, I have to take a picture of this thing.
Well, they were spraying like crazy in Colorado today, and whenever they do that, I mean, like really aggressively, I take pictures of it. And anyway, but that's something for another time. When
I do want to ask you guys' his opinion about this Mama J question that came in, because this was big. I remember. Did you guys hear that there was a search warrant issued for Kopaka's to find a K-bar knife, and that's why they went there in the first place? Did you guys hear that? Because I haven't been able to confirm that myself. But I
did not hear that.
No, I didn't hear that.
But you know, the thing is, like a lot of the stuff about, because you know, I'm a proud conspiracy realist, so when I look at this stuff like this, like if you look at the way that intelligence operations work, and there's a big marriage between intelligence and special operations. So, you know, we don't know what Brent Kopaka was involved with, right? Just saying, oh, this guy was an airborne ranger or whatever, that's just explaining what his designation was, right? You don't know what kind of operations that guy worked on. So that if you look at that part alone, that really expands the Overton window of what he may or may not have been involved with that would have facilitated the need for him, put the tinfoil hat on, to be taken out. Because if he was involved in this crime in any way, shape, or form, right, we don't know if there could have been, I don't want to get too crazy, but I can't help myself. Sorry, I have to do it. But let's just say there were people in that house that could have potentially exposed things that were connected to powerful entities, big money entities, whether it be the school, whether it be a drug operation that was, a trafficking operation. For all we know, hypothetically, Kopaka could have been a hitman. And I know I'm going crazy out there, but if you understand and look at realities of what has happened and what does happen, in reality, that is not something that's impossible. And that would facilitate him being eliminated. Because if he was connected to something that got squirrely and if they didn't want it to get out, then that's what happens sometimes. I mean, I know normies they think that's an insane idea, but it's really not if you look at the big picture of the type of shit that has happened. I mean, it's like saying hitmans don't exist. Everybody knows that hitmans exist, right? There's corporate espionage.
Yeah.
There's mafia hits. There's all kinds of shit. And so,
right.
To me,
and that's what I think, and that's how I think Kohlberger was. That's what I think I believe more along the lines. I don't want to speak for him of what Lee believes. I think somehow Kohlberger was friends with Kopaka. I know they're both from Pennsylvania. That's also another suspicious thing. How they both kind of live around the same area in Pennsylvania, and they both wind up in the area of Idaho is very strange. And then going along with you saying, JJ, I think that's exactly what I think Kopaka was. I think that he was involved in something with the drugs. Tommy Jude, shout out to him. He has a whole bunch of different shows where I don't remember specifically, but he has all these different things that basically kind of proves that Kopaka was some kind of drug dealer, some involved with something with the drugs and whatever.
Well, I'm
following. I'm going along with what you say. That's exactly what I think Kopaka was. I think he was involved with the drugs, but I think he was like the hired hitman. And I don't know about Kopaka's car. I saw a message. Someone was asking what he doesn't have a car or something, or I don't know, but and he probably called Kohlberger. Kohlberger drove him over there. And maybe Kohlberger didn't even, it's possible too. Maybe Kohlberger didn't even know, like we have said a few times. Maybe he didn't even know. Maybe he thought it was just some kind of drug deal or some kind of, maybe Kopaka didn't, I don't know if he told it, oh, come pick me up. I have to execute someone. I mean, it could be many theories.
Well,
just to add quick, just to add quick, just to throw another little theory, because I know people like, oh, with this guy Rosenthal, well, it's either he was with Kaylee or not, or you think that he might have. No, I don't necessarily think that Rosenthal. I don't think that he executed maybe anyone had anything to do with it, and maybe he wasn't. Maybe he just went to talk to Kaylee or whatnot, but it's also possible theory. And this is a small town. You don't think that whatever, if it's some kind of high drug dealer or Aryan Nation or whatever was going on there, you don't think that they have possibly any cops on their payroll? Like, so if this was some kind of, whatever execution hit from Xana's parents, maybe there's being CIs or that kind of angle. there would be a call. There would be a call made to some kind of police contact. Maybe it's even Payne. Payne can be involved. Oh, we have the situation over here. We got to clean this up.
Right. and
Roosevelt could have
he
just
was
been
a Fort
involved in the
Bragg
cleanup.
guy, right?
Yeah. And he also, exactly. He also, I don't believe he was there at the same time as Kopaka, but yes.
Yeah, they were in the same. Payne was in the same combat division in the same unit as Kopaka. Again, I don't think they served together, but as I pointed out before, and I won't make a major deal out of it, there's a brotherhood there of people who served together, especially when they're in the same unit. So did they know each other? That's questions that I would like to ask. But
well, I've talked about it with DA and you won one, but I want to get Birdie's take on this. We know from a lot of declassified stuff and books that have been written that the government has been involved with trafficking, like the famous Gary Webb book, Dark Alliance, about the whole Contra and the Sandinista thing in Nicaragua, where the CIA was running drugs and cocaine to raise money for operations, right? So we know for a fact that the government has been involved in that stuff. Whether they are directly involved or they overlook it, because it serves some purpose for them, right? So we know, nothing happens in Moscow, right? So, like, if there was shit going on in that area, the feds could have very well been either involved or aware, right? So that right there casts a lot of doubt on a lot of the shit that we're being told, because if there was major operations going on there related to trafficking, that would facilitate the need to cover shit up.
What if by chance, and I had this thought, and I will admittedly say I have been tunnel vision on the drug angle. You guys know what I mean? What if it wasn't, right? So for what it's worth, Steve G, say that he's credible, say that he's not, I don't care. I'm also trying to just look at info that comes in. Steve G texted Brett Norton back, who's a TikTok creator.
Yep.
Saying this is not drug related.
Yep.
Okay. So then what would also cause something to be so personal? Could it be affairs? Well, then you start wondering, okay, who's the fifth roommate? Who is Kaylee fucking? Is the fifth roommate fucking the football coach?
Yep.
And is Kaylee effing Rosie?
Yep.
And then you start to wonder. Go ahead, DA. I was just going to say, you guys get my point. It's like, it's all passionate.
It's funny you mentioned the Steve Gonzalez texting Brett Norton, because again, I don't know how people feel about it. I don't know if people generally feel that that's not true or been discredited. I think those text messages are legit. I think that was Steve contacting. And if you recall, one of the other bombshells Steve said was, remember, Bethany saw somebody changing clothes in the living room. And here's the thing. I think Bethany didn't see Brian Koberger, and that's what the exculpatory information is. She didn't see Brian Koberger. She saw somebody else. And they didn't want her, for any stretch of the imagination, coming back to testify and being forced to testify what she saw. Because if she saw somebody in the house getting out of clothes at the back door and it wasn't Koberger, they've got a major problem.
And he says the grand jury quoted in his text, Dylan created more questions than answers. And there's a text that says, I think someone just killed them, quote, while she was hiding. Wow. That is on the text messages from a victim's father. And you want to shit on us for saying maybe the people that waited 8 goddamn hours to call the cops, and the grand jury's even saying this. Sorry, DA, for getting fired up. It's just like, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Boys, look at this this book that you can go and buy or download.
Your green screen's fucking that phone up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
We can't see it.
Hold on.
It's close.
The Fort Bragg cartel. It says Fort Bragg cartel, drug trafficking and murder in the special forces. That's a fairly recent book.
I want to dovetail on what Birdie just said. Here's another thing. This was a pretty good source. I think it was James Patterson had contacted somebody who was on the grand jury, who had actually been on the grand jury with Bethany and Dylan
about it. Yeah.
Yep. Right. And what did they say? The grand jury believed that the girls were lying and probably should be arrested. That the grand jury didn't believe the girls thing. Why are we still acting like they're complete victims and everybody's a piece of shit for victim shaming when the grand jury said those girls need to probably be arrested? There's something horseshit about their story.
And you have a victim's father saying that the grand jury is saying this. But oh my God, devil's advocates, Birdie, you guys are pieces of shit. No, well, I have a human instinct. Right. There's a quadruple homicide with a fucking World War I weapon. Yeah, in a cardboard thin house. There's no way.
Yeah, but you know, you're demonized if you question it. It's insane.
Well,
I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore.
I mean, the whole thing with Dylan is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there is no way. I don't want to say there's no case in history.
There's not. Dude.
I know. I would say you would be very hard pressed to find some example where there's some kind of serial killer, or definitely in some situation where 4 people are killed. So whether you want to, someone, flipped out, or a bunch of people flipped out, or whatever it is, a hit, whatever's going on, there is no possible way that a witness would be left alive. There is no way. And the fact that the one thing I just want, and I'll let you go. The one comment that Dylan made, I think it was one of her, not on scene, but I think it was one of her interviews, I believe, where she said, she said something like, I thought that the person was looking out for me. Who the hell says something like that? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Oh, maybe
what do you mean? What do you mean the person is looking out for you? What the heck? What?
I know what that could mean. That could mean your boyfriend, who you're doing the nasty with, might be blood related to somebody that's very high up in a prison gang. Maybe, potentially. I don't know for sure. That I'm sure is a conspiracy to a bunch of simple-minded, fluoridated assholes out there. Side note, sorry, DA.
Dude, you guys are crazy, man. Nothing happens in Moscow. You're all conspiracy theorists.
I get it, Joe. I get it.
Let me ask you this one. Let me ask you this. So you were talking about how Dylan's statements, or I guess we were both riffing off of, you have a victim's father saying this. Why are they then allowing her to play victim? You, as an NYPD officer, please give credibility to that in the fact of the rather obvious is because she's valuable. Because there's an aspect of something else going on where it's like, let's not burn her. Let's defend her. Let's protect her. Let's shield her publicly so that we can use her. What else would there be?
Right. No, 100%. Yeah.
And that's why he was going to get sued.
Right.
God, this story. And again,
sorry for yelling.
No, you should. I mean, I was listening to yelling into this microphone. I hope that people I'm not overpowering and yelling in their ear compared to everybody else. So we all should yell. That way they can adjust their microphone.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's yell. Wait. Pause. What was that?
that was me yelling.
I went out there and I ate that pizza fast as shit. And my wife is watching and she goes, "Oh, DA's great right now. He is great." So I gotta go back in there.
You're like, I'm going back in. I'm tapping in. I'm going in.
Exactly.
From the turnbuckle.
So I want to ask you guys this, DA, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take over. If you have a question, just you tell me to shut the fuck up. But I just want to ask this. We were talking about Dot. We've talked about Dylan, Bethany. We've talked about all of these rumors.
Yeah.
And a lot of them do have to do with drugs. So if we're going to take Steve's account into this has nothing to do with drugs, right? Yet say Dylan raised more questions because of a shady past. What other theory could there be that would lead to a crime of passion, that would lead to a cover-up, that would lead to families not wanting to talk to each other? Well, I believe there's a very obvious answer. Are there people having sex with married individuals?
Yeah.
That are close to the campus and college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
The
Steve G
OnlyFans?
said early on, right? He said there's going to be a lot of dirty stuff that comes out
You're
in
right.
this. He made that comment.
Exactly.
You know, TA and well, I guess we all talked about this before, but Birdie Dot talked about this last night. You know, when this case first happened, it's just like, oh, they're just college kids. They're just look, man. Anybody who hung out in party houses, I've lived in several party houses when I was young. And the shit that was going down, like there was always a drug dealer, there was always a lot of sex going on, there was a lot of
Right.
shit going on. All right. So I don't like euphemizing shit where it's like, oh, they're just good college kids. Yeah, they're not bad people because they're doing drugs and having sex. I mean, the shit, I don't even want to talk about some of the shit that I did when I was in my 20s, you know, like, so this whole euphemizing them, oh, they're just, you know, kids, they're victims. That's not reality. Reality is
Right.
people
Right.
do drugs, they have sex, they fuck around. And on top of all that, this was a known party house, right?
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
the things that the rumors, like Dot was saying about Kaylee, right? Like, I don't know.
Well, you know,
You know,
I'd like to see if they unredact that. What was it? That girl that was going to be moving with Kaylee, whatever. I don't know what her name is. I don't know if they even said it. She did one of the victim statements, one of the, I don't know what they call it. Some kind of victim statement. The one that was going to move to Texas with Kaylee, and there's a paragraph where I guess they were asking her about her relationship, like
Oh,
with
yes.
her parents or whatnot. And it's
Kaylee only lived there for
really,
6 months.
yeah, it's really odd because she wrote like 2 or 3 lines about her family, I believe, that was redacted. And then the line below that said something like, to the extent that like, Maddie, she basically thought of Maddie as her family. So Kaylee wasn't really getting along with her family at all. And I just wonder if it had to do with what you're saying. Was Kaylee into some kind of OnlyFans escort thing or something going on? And
Yes. There could be a chance. Let me ask you guys this.
yeah.
Okay, so and DA and everybody up here, let me ask you guys this. This is a rhetorical question. Do you think you're dumbasses?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I do not think I'm a dumbass.
No, type a 1 if you think you're a dumbass in the chat. There's not going to be anybody that types a 1. Okay.
There's silence.
Sometimes.
And if anybody does, wow, thank you for the brutal honesty. Okay. But no, I don't think anybody in here is. I say that to preface what is about to sound like a very obvious question. How many times can we bang our heads against a wall for an 8-hour 911 delay? And how many times can we try to reason with why? How many times can we try to reason with body language, things that are said on the call, right?
Yeah.
At a certain point, are we dumbasses enough to keep trying to figure that logic out? Or is somebody who's probably not a dumbass, people that are as smart as we are, if we were on the other side about to release exactly that, so that there's people like us that know that they're smart, that know that there's no way to make sense of a quadruple stabbing in a paper thin house and nobody hears it. Yet there's witnesses, there's whatever, there's autopsy reports. Hunter Johnson has a knife in his hand, checks for the pulse. 911 calls an unconscious person. How is there no blood on him? How is there no blood on his feet when he's walking around, on his shoes? If it's that bloody,
Right.
Come on, guys. Well, how about this? There's rumors of the OD. What if all the post-mortem wounds were to cover up an OD? Blood would not spurt out.
No.
Blood would, if your heart's not beating and you have large, gaping, slashing wounds, what if somebody did give bad drugs and they were an informant and they did not know? What do you do?
Yeah.
Do you call the informant tip line? Do you potentially have a delay? Do you potentially have plausible deniability? Oh my God. One of the people that OD'd was fucking a cop. Oh my God. The fifth roommate we're not going to tell anybody about was fucking the football coach too. Oh my God. We're in the middle of a $685 million merger with the University of Phoenix. Oh my God, the FBI is running an undercover investigation on the Pacific Northwest Highway because our Greek life is infiltrated and there's people in that house whose parents flipped on the area nights. We are cooked.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need Ashley Banfield right now. Get the Koberger muffin top selfies queued up. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, well, I was shit on early on in this case because I was saying that before, way early on, I said, come on, it's obvious. The 8-hour delay, in my opinion, one of the reasons I thought early on was they had to get rid of shit from the house.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they had
Definitely.
to get stuff out of the house, and they panicked when they knew what happened, in my opinion. They knew what happened, but they're like, oh, fuck, we got a stash. What
Isn't
the fuck
that
we
too
gonna
obvious,
do?
though?
Well, that's like what I thought before any of the
Yeah.
other shady shit came out. Like, this is like way day one shit. When I found out about the 8-hour
Right.
delay, I'm like, what
Okay.
would make sense for an 8-hour delay? That was what kind of
yes.
got me into the case, was the 8-hour delay. I'm like, what? That's fucking insane. 8-hour delay. And then I thought, oh, party house. They had to get rid of shit. But now it's gotten so convoluted that there could be any number of reasons for the 8-hour delay. I can't even begin. I wish I could say this is what I absolutely know happened. I wish I could say that, but I can't.
Yeah,
And-
and let me tell you, those cops that I mean, if they're real interviews that interviewed Dylan and Bethany at the station, they should be fired. I mean, they're just absolutely horrendous. How is that not even brought up? The 8-hour delay wasn't even asked about.
Yeah, that's fucking
Yeah.
insane.
Wasn't even
Right.
asked. That would be that. I mean, obviously you're gonna ask like, did you go out? Were you out with them? Do you do you know anyone that you think wanted to hurt them? Right? Like all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff is good. You don't ask. I would, yeah, people go into shock and whatever. And I give kind of the credit that you have to remember, they're doing the interview, even if it's whatever, a few days later or right away. They don't have the info that we have now. They don't know that, Dylan is on Snapchat and all this crazy stuff with the phone. But even forget about even that, like catching her in the lie. Why did you wait 8? Like you're telling me, you were so scared. You saw someone in a black mask. You can't get a hold of your roommates. You can't get a hold of anyone. I'm going to go in my room and lock the door, and that's it. And you disappear for 8 hours. It's such a crock of shit. It's unbelievable.
I want to point out another thing. Like MPD, Moscow Police Department, didn't ask a lot of tough questions of Dylan. Didn't ask what should have been the obvious questions. But what happened when we started to see the Idaho State Police things? Idaho State Police were saying to Dylan, is there something you're not telling us? You can see in the Idaho State Police documents that they didn't buy Dylan's story. They were like, that makes no, she said, oh, well, I don't think you're going to find the killer's DNA because we cleaned up. And they're like, what do you mean you cleaned up? Well, it was, a weekend for parents to come. Yeah, but that's before the murders. Oh, yeah, okay. And they're like, is there something you're not telling us? Like, you can see a different jurisdiction doesn't buy the bullshit. But you know who didn't ask the questions? MPD. So why is Moscow Police Department not asking the tough questions?
Yeah, and the state police, they also, someone above them also turned them off too. And you can see that when you're looking at the documents. Like, I know you covered a lot of them, DA. When you look at how, so when you go through these documents and you see, first off, the initial, media thing that they did, whatever, what was it, like 4 days later, and they said that all these, all these people were cleared, the initial people They were not. They were not all cleared. Dylan was not cleared right away. They said that in the media, they said that Dylan was cleared and that Showalter was cleared. They were not. That did not happen. And my question is there's a bunch of stuff, but when they did that interview with not the state police, when they did theirs, they basically caught Showalter lying. They have video of him going to Floyd Cannabis's shop, getting into whatever car, I forget what the make and model. He got into a car, and then this guy said that they went to a McDonald's, I think, and they went to buy beer, and there's no video. There's no like the McDonald's, they got the surveillance from the McDonald's. They checked the whole day. They went to this whatever shop it was that they said he got beer at. There's nothing. What the guy he's lying. Where's the follow up? There's no follow up. And along with that, another piece that is kind of alarming to me too, which does it have something to do with this case or not? I don't know. The whole thing about the two pairs of panties in the street in front of the house.
Right.
What the hell is that? And even if you say like, I mean, I don't live over there. I don't know. Is it like weird? I know it's like a college town and whatever, but you watch when they do they released a video of the officer doing the door, detective, whatever, doing the door-to-door interview from the apartments. And one of the people in the apartment says, by the way, I did notice there was like some underwear or whatever in the street. Where's the follow-up?
Yeah.
There's no follow-up.
DA and I are going to solve this case in less than 2 weeks. So don't worry about it.
I'm
question anything.
I'm kind of worried. I mean, I got something put together with Robin. It might be myself and Birdie trying to figure out what happened to JJ and Lee.
Yeah, I haven't seen, by the way, I haven't seen all of the brouhaha, but something's going on in the chat. Birdie's calling out somebody and saying, bring him up to the panel.
Here, let me just clarify this.
I just took care of that. That dude is gone. I am not afraid to bounce people, and I will. I will.
I appreciate that, Robin.
You've got an awesome panel here, guys. Let's treat him with respect, and let's have fun together, and let's all solve it together, okay? Instead of beating up everybody. And he's gone, and I won't hesitate to bounce you. So I'm just warning everybody.
No, I appreciate that, Robin. Obviously, you and I and DA, we all will work together on that. I was not asking for that. It's just Shane F, whatever the fuck that loser's name is. DA, I don't want to do this on your chat. I don't, because I bit my tongue the first time. We have screenshots. Yeah. He's shaming Dot. He's shaming myself, and he's shaming UFO dogs. And he's saying, "Boo-hoo, you guys lost your dads," like a fucking loser. And saying that we're using it as victimology. So Shane F, I hope that you burn in hell, and I hope genuinely. Look at me. I would have let your bitch ass up on this fucking panel right now. And I wouldn't have said anything derogatory towards you. I would have watched you come up here and probably smile with your fucked up teeth and sit here and try to act like you're so fucking smart. Oh my God. The victimology, the this, and that. Yet you're not going to say anything about your point.
Yeah.
Instead, you choose to go over somebody's father's death.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit. I didn't ask for you to get fucking banned from this chat, DA. I'm sorry. I'm taking over on this fucking rant right now because you know what? I don't like to ban people like that. Yeah. Put their ass up on the screen. Get them up on the panel. You know what? He has his real picture, by the way. He's been in... Again, I'm not trying to flex. We have a lawyer. Shane's ass is in our lawyer's fucking files. We know Shane. We know who he is. He uses his real picture like an idiot. So Shane, I know you're watching. We know you. You're an idiot.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, on the good thing, Birdie, here's the thing. On the good thing, sometimes it's good that we have mods that protect us from ourselves. Because, yeah, we probably would have invited him up and then things got squirrely. And so, Robin.
Oh, come on, DA. You would have loved it. Let him.
I would have. I would have loved it. I would just shut up and let you go at it. But and sometimes it's a good thing for the mods to take care of some of that shit for us so that we don't have to. But yeah, that sounds like that person's really making it personal and going after somebody's, death in their family. What kind of shitty things to say? We're covering a true crime thing. Yeah.
I'm going to shame you for victim shaming, yet boo-hoo, your dad died, is what he said.
Right.
Chat. No, dude, you're a loser. That's not what we do. We don't do anything close to that. You fucktard. Like, shut up.
I can see the thumbnail tomorrow. Fucktard enters the chat.
And I'm actually really mad. I'm
tomorrow about the fucktards.
I'm mad at myself.
Let him come to New York City. Maybe he'll get a tail light out or something.
No worries. I mean, I was gonna joke earlier that Joe needs to watch his fucking language because we dropped too many F-bombs on here, but we've dropped a whole bunch more. I'm just kidding, Joe, of course. But the point is that, probably pushing YouTube's algorithm of if you say 10 F-bombs in the course of 30 seconds, you may.
I'm from Jersey, man. I'm not fucking media trained.
I feel like a psycho. I feel like a psycho for that. So I apologize, DA.
What we need the Tiggle Bitty video up at the end of this.
I was going to say, Shane. That's why Shane tuned in. Shane's like, oh my God, I can't see these things anywhere else. Okay, I have to watch a true crime Idaho 4 serial killer murder that I probably still believe the narrative on, just to see a little bit of titties, because I'm not going to see it in my real life.
Can we put the titty video back on again just to get a reset?
No, because Shane's going to hang out.
You're gonna sandwich me on two sides of the Tiggle Bitties on here. Like, I will say this, like, it's funny because we said, we jokingly said we're going to solve the case. Here's the thing. The reality is, right, I'm a little pessimistic. I feel like no one's ever going to break this case. We have a million reasons to believe this case is one of the most bullshit cases I've ever seen in the history of our country. And yet I don't know that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're making lots of mistakes, the documents that are coming out. Like, but here's the thing, like, even with going back for a moment, even with Payne, who is the lead detective, telling you, we didn't know Brian Koberger's name until the 19th, and now you got a document saying they knew it on the 5th. You can't even get him for perjury. You can't get him for lying, because he'll just say, well, I was telling you what I remember. I don't recall. That's how you get out of jail free. Well, what I said was, I don't recall that we knew him before. So you can lie and you just hide behind that. Well, I didn't remember that, I guess. And you can just go, I guess I'm a shitty detective. I probably should have remembered who was the lead suspect on my case, but I guess I forgot in that moment. And you just get away with it. So where's going to be the accountability? Even when they make a mistake and we can find out that they knew about Koberger well before they said they did, nobody's gonna be held accountable because they'll just say, well, I guess I forgot that part. I mean,
I gotta bring up, Hitler has some kind of involvement in this crazy shit too. I have never seen a judge say that DNA under someone's fingernail is not probative. I've never heard of that. Unless you guys know something, I don't know.
No.
Jay Ray's that ship has sailed. You guys got demonetized.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm grateful I'm on a panel with you guys. It's probably a good time for me to get off, because now I just I'm just having really like this. I'm gonna crash out. out. I don't want to do that.
Well, you know what? It's actually a great time for me to wrap up as well. I mean, this is a 2-hour live. It's probably been the biggest rowdy live that I've had since I've been going solo. So, well, I guess this isn't solo because I'm with 5 other people. But the point being is that on my show, I don't usually have those kind of numbers. So how about we just consider this a really good night, a really good thing, a special night in which it was a lot of fun. We're not going to break the case tonight. It's going to continue on. I know
who is. Shane will. Shane will break.
Shane will break the case. Well, yeah, he's figured that out a long time ago. So before we go, I want to say a few things. Please, if you haven't done so, like and subscribe to my channel. Go find Birdie if you forgot. You probably already have it, but go get Birdie and get his channel. One doesn't have one. JJ State of the Deep's working on his channel, but he also has a Substack, which is State of the Deep, I think, .substack.com. Check that out. Robin, I don't know that you have a YouTube channel, do you? That you want to shout out?
Nothing to do with true crime. Never mind.
Yeah. So anyways, like, follow, subscribe, all those things. Check out the video that I posted this morning. I think Robin put in a link to it earlier. Maybe she can put in the link again before I completely 100% wrap up. That video covers a lot of what I just said, the legal documents, where I read from the document itself where they admit that they didn't know about Bryan Kohberger until the 19th of December. And then later on, you see the document where it says they did indeed have his name as a suspect on the 5th of December. And by the way, when Payne said the FBI was co-located with us for weeks before we got Kohberger's name, that would put it right around December 5th when they knew Bryan Kohberger was the suspect. I found that interesting as well. Payne said the FBI was co-located with us and had been for weeks. Well, weeks before December 19th would put it around December 5th, would it not? So did the FBI come in and tell MPD very early on Bryan Kohberger was the guy to look at, and they couldn't do the detective work to put him in the house, so they got there another route? That's something to think about. Go watch that video if you haven't. Like, subscribe, all that great shit. You guys have been amazing guests. Thank you so much. And also thank you for, we got a gift on the way out here tonight. Thank you so much for the check out the enforcement. What is this? Enforcement Files. Cattell has bitch slapped the BK case. Thank you so much for doing that. I'll have to go look at that to find out. But bitch slapping the BK. And by the way, I get told every day Pavarotti's already solved this case, so I have to stop talking about that. But anyway, do you guys have any last minute thoughts?
I'm gonna buy.
Yeah, just thanks for having me on, and I will see you guys in the next one.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, 1-1.
Thanks,
Appreciate it, guys.
everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. Have a good
cheers.
one.